between Sam and Chuck and I said, we have something really, really special going on. So here's what happened. I was not supposed to make it because the weather was really bad. And they said, Mr. Trump, I don't think you should fly today. I said, I'm not going to let Spencer down. We're not letting you down. So here we are. It's been really an amazing period of time. What's happened? CNN, you saw, I guess, did everybody see the poll that came out? And where's my Tana? She's some here, but I'll tell you, from The Apprentice, she has been working 24 hours a day. She's been so amazing. So CNN came out with a poll. We are killing it, folks. I mean, we are. But, you know, honestly, it's like Sam said before, that we can't get complacent. Sit down, everybody. Come on, we're going to make it like a family show. We'll make it like a little bit of a family show. I don't know. I think, here's the story. You people have better seats, but they're going to become more famous. You see? We have got problems in this country. We have got a hidden enemy. We've got an enemy that doesn't wear uniforms. We've got an enemy that's very vicious, very violent, very sick. And we're going to take him out. And we're going to take him out strongly. And we don't need people that are politicians that complain about my tone. Like Jeb Bush said, his tone is a little bit tough. You know, I think I have a great temperament. I built an incredible company. In fact, when I filed my papers, everyone said, we won't file his papers because, you know, maybe he's not as rich as people think and all that. So I filed my papers. And actually before that, and I tell the story, I was in New York, and it looked like the Academy Awards down in Trump Tower. There were so many cameras I've never seen anything like it. And you know, they all want us to do badly, okay? Because the press is unbelievably dishonest. Unbelievable. Most of it, this isn't, but most of it. Unbelievably, I can tell you, I think I'll write a book about them when this whole thing is finished. This will be a book. I don't know if anybody's going to be interested enough to read it, but who cares? But I will tell you, they're very dishonest. And I looked down, and you know, there they are. They never showed the audience, by the way. By the way, people are still pouring in. And I want to thank the fire marshal because they sort of, you know, they have people at the doors just in case there's a problem. But I said, look, it's all concrete and steel, it's not going to burn. And they were there, okay? And we have a lot of people outside that are still coming in, so I appreciate it. Now, we can always wait about half an hour. Should we wait? I thought we were going to say that. So, I've been watching and I've been speaking and I've been talking about trade in China and how China's ripping us. We're losing $450 billion a year in trading dollars. Think of that number. $450 billion. Just think of it. People say, oh, he must make $450 million. Most people don't even know the difference between a million and a billion. It's a lot of millions. $450 billion a year trading dollars. Meaning they send to us that much more than we send to them. Not a good deal. Okay? I have Carl Icahn, one of the great businessmen of our time. I have so many business people that are all endorsing me. And we're going to have the toughest, the smartest, the sharpest, people that you will be so proud of. You may not like them personally. Who cares? Right? I tell the story about Carolyn Kennedy. She's a lovely young woman. I like her because my daughter likes her, Ivanka. Do we all know Ivanka? Yes. It's coming. She's going to be coming. After a couple of weeks, I'm bringing your sons. And by the way, members of the NRA, they're really great marksmen. I mean, they're great shots. They've been members for a long time, and big Second Amendment people. And I am the biggest of all Second Amendment people. They're a wonderful couple. They own a gun shop. Where's that couple? They look great. Where are they? Oh, there they are. Stand up. Listen. I said, don't worry, folks. If I get in, you're going to do just fine. You know, it's sort of interesting. We all know the problems, obviously. But take Paris. If a few people had guns on their belt, on their shin, in their jacket, instead of being slaughtered, you might have lost some. You definitely would have lost the bad guys. But it wouldn't have been hundreds of people, with many more expected to die. They're in the hospital dying now. And then you go to the tragedy that we just had in California. Nobody has a gun except the bad guys. The scum. The scum. And nobody has a gun. Nobody can protect themselves. They got lucky that they left. They left because they didn't want to die. You know, it's a whole big hoax. They want to die. They don't want to die. They talk about they want to die. They don't want to die. They're chicken shit, believe me. So they left early because they didn't want to get caught. They got caught. And by the way, how good did the police do, right? Did they do that? And in Paris they did that. I mean, they did a great job. They knocked them out. Not easy. Dangerous as hell. And then you have all of these people protesting against the police. And you can always have a problem. The big deal is that the problems always seem to get on television and it makes everybody look good. It's such a small, tiny percentage. But the police in our country, overall, they do such an unbelievable job. I've gotten to know them. And they do such an unbelievable job. I mean, like in California, look how quickly they reacted. And the school from a few months ago, a gun-free zone. You know what a gun-free zone means? That means that's like the meat. That's like the meat for these killers. Look how fast the police got there. They didn't get enough credit. They got there within minutes, and they knocked them off. And it was still a tragedy with so many people. But look at the military. How about the military base? First of all, one of the first things I'll be doing is ending all of that gun-free nonsense on military bases. Can you believe this? Well, we lost 6 guys to one guy that was a nothing, a zero. But 2 of our guys that we lost were world-class soldiers, highly decorated. And the other ones were great soldiers. But 2 of them, I think one was one of the great marksmen. He's not allowed to carry a gun on a military base. So this guy walks in and shoots him, kills him. They were, great people. They couldn't have a gun. I will end that my first day. We live in sanctuary cities really fast. I can tell you that. The nice part is you don't have to worry too much about sanctuary cities in Spencer, but it is, you ever seen it? It's almost like a free zone. You kill people and you're fine because you're in the sanctuary. It is so insane what's happening to our country. So when I announced, and it took courage to announce, I'm a business guy, and all of my life I've heard that if you're a very successful person, you can't run for political office and certainly not for president. And I understand it. And a lot of it's because of the people back there, but I understand it. But I said, I don't care. And I made the decision. The head of Comcast, great guy, Steve Burke, came to my office a couple of weeks before I announced. He said, Donald, we want to renew the apprentice. Some people say, there's a lot of money. Even if you're rich, it's a lot of money. It at least pays for my airplane fuel. It's a lot of money. But he said, we want to renew you for a long time. And I said, I can't do it because I'm going to run, I think. Because I wasn't sure until I got on that escalator. Remember the famous escalator? Hopefully that picture on the escalator goes down in history as being a really important day for this country. And I said to my wife, Melanie, I said, well, look at that. And you look down at the garden level of the Trump Tower in New York, and I said, boy, that is a lot of press. You couldn't even get the press. It was so much. Honestly, it looked like the Academy Awards. So she came down in her white outfit, whatever. And I came down. I just took a deep breath. I said, all right, let's do it. Come on. We got to straighten out the country. It's so Dan, what's that? It's so incompetent. We're run by stupid people. They're stupid. They're stupid. Whether it's Sergeant Bergdahl, where we get a dirty, rotten traitor, 6 people were killed looking for him. And now he's not even going to get a sentence, it looks like. Can you believe it? 25 years ago, he shot. 50 years ago, they don't even wait a week. 70 years ago, they do it the first hour, right? Today, they announced probably he'll be receiving help on it. Can you believe it? 6 young, great people, soldiers, killed looking for him. He deserted. So here's our deals. And these are the same deals we make with Iran, the same deals we make economically with China, Japan, Mexico. We get Bergdahl, a dirty, rotten traitor who's no good, and they get 5 of the biggest, worst killers that they have in that part of the world. And those guys are all back now on the battlefield, trying to kill everybody, and us, never get over here. And that's what we get. And that's the way we negotiate. And we knew. I said, well, maybe they must have made a mistake. They probably didn't know he was a deserter. I mean, he's a dirty, rotten traitor. And they knew because they had a general and a colonel interviewing his people that he worked with and he was with. And they said, no, he deserted. So they knew before, and they made the deal with him. I don't know what's with these people. I don't want them. Maybe we can send them back. Let's fly him over, and we'll dump him right in the middle, throw him out of the plane. See, we give him a parachute now. They say no. Why do you want to waste the parachute? See, we don't run our country actually with love. We're not treating our country right. We're not treating the people of our country right. When you do things like that, you're running it not with love, you're running it with stupidity, but you're running it with almost, there's a certain hatred that you're just doing the wrong thing. And the way we negotiate is, I use Bergdahl as an example sometimes, because while it's not an economic thing, although it actually is to a certain extent, that's the deals we make. We don't know how to make deals. I was going to tell you Carolyn Kennedy, she's in charge of Japan. She's the ambassador to Japan. She's a wonderful young lady. I mean, my daughter thinks she's very nice. So I like her. That's all I know about her. When Ivanka says somebody's nice, that doesn't even pick her to negotiate on cars by the millions. But I don't know if you saw 60 Minutes. So I was on 60 Minutes recently. And Putin was on the same night. We got along very well. We never met each other. He was in Russia, I was in New York. We got along, and they got great ratings that night too. We can do fine with it. But with Kennedy, they had her in 60 Minutes because she's the ambassador to Japan. And I think I'm telling the story pretty much like I remember. She walked in, she went into the White House. She said, "I'm lucky job. I'd like to help," which is very nice. And they said, "Oh, what would you like to do?" She said, "I don't know." They said, "How would you like to be the ambassador to Japan?" She goes, "Really?" She couldn't believe it. What a job. Would you like to do? I might even take that job. Look at that. I love you the way you hold that book up. Stand up, Brian. Look at you. That's love. I know she's voting for love. I love that. I love it. The people are so amazing. I just see the way she's holding that book. Thank you. Appreciate it. Wouldn't it be terrible if she said, no, I'm actually voting for, let's see. I don't want to use the name because it's so far behind. I don't want to give anybody that voice. I appreciate it. Thank you. So, with Japan, so she doesn't get it. The ambassador to Japan is a big factor in what happens to us and Japan. Japan is run by Abe, one of their strongest leaders that they've had in many years. He's devaluing the hell out of their currency, just clobbering us. They're sending cars by the millions. When you go out to Los Angeles, I was there a few months ago and I saw boats. The biggest ships I've ever seen. Cars are pouring off these ships into us. You know what we send them? Practically nothing. We give them a little beef. but they send it back. And by the time it gets there, you don't want to touch that beef. I think they call it Kobe beef now, don't they? And they sell it to much more. See what they do? They call it Kobe beef after a while. Because it sits for about 7 months because they can't get it in. And then they charge you about 10 times more for it. So it's a pretty good deal. But we send them very little. They send us the cars. And we have so much leverage. If we have people, we have business people, and they rip us. And in the 16 piece, I saw how they're wanting and dining her. They're giving her dinner, steak dinners, they have whatever. She's not going to make us share with these people. We want our great negotiators. I know the good ones, I know the bad ones, I know the ones that are overrated, I know ones you haven't heard of are better than all of them. We have great people. We have the greatest business people in the world. And they want to do it. I've had so many calls from people that are very rich, very successful, some well-known, some not. They all want to be involved. And they don't want jobs, they don't want money. They work, hundreds of millions and billions of dollars in some cases. But they all want to help because they see what I'm doing. Corporate inversion. That's where companies are now leaving. This is a new thing. Because our tax laws are so bad, now they're going to do something about it because I've been making a big deal. But the politicians I'm running against, they never even heard of corporate. They don't even know what it is. That's where companies are moving out of the United States. In the old days, they moved from New York to Florida because the taxes were low, or other reasons. Now they move from the United States to another country. Asia, Europe, they go, Pfizer, as you probably know, Pfizer's a hell of a company, that's a big company. Pfizer is moving, they want to move to Ireland. Now I like that because I don't want a property in Ireland, hopefully they'll be fairly near my property value will go up, right? But I bought a lot. When Ireland crashed 3-4 years ago, I bought some of the best, and that's what I do. I do it really good. I was going to tell you, that when I filed my report, everybody said, wow, that's amazing. Because when I came down the escalator, just to finish that story, so I come down the escalator, and they said, oh, well, he'll never announce it. Okay. Now they say, well, he'll never file Form A. Form A is only one single page where you basically sign your life away. I stopped. I said, whoa. Oh, well, he'll never file his financials because he's probably not worth as much as they would. So I filed my financials. And by the way, I filed them. They thought I'd ask for extensions. You're allowed to have many extensions. You could take them forever. I didn't ask for one extension. In fact, I filed them early. I didn't ask for one extension. And they turned out, it was almost 100 pages long. Some of these politicians asked for extensions, and it was a one-page document that, they had nothing. And I'm not saying it's not wrong to have nothing, but I built a great company, tremendous cash flow. Everybody is shocked. I have some of the greatest assets in the world, unbelievable values, almost no debt, very little debt, very little. And I'm not saying that in a braggadocious because I don't care about that. It's the kind of thinking we need in our country that we have to have. The kind of thinking we owe $19 trillion. We just made last week a horrible budget, I guess you saw. And I always, joke, but it's really not a joke. All these people, we know where the Democrats are coming from. Hillary Clinton is a disaster, by the way. She'll be a disaster. Look, and I've been saying, she doesn't have the strength or the stamina to be president. You need somebody with tremendous stamina. You ever notice, thank you, you ever notice, I think she said you got it, didn't you? You gotta believe it. You got it too. Yeah. Stand up. You got it this year. That's very nice. Thank you, man. Anyway, you ever notice she'll do an event, and then you don't see her for like a week. You know what happens? She goes home and goes to sleep. Then she'll do another event. You don't see her. Then she'll ask questions after like 3 days of negotiating with these guys. She'll ask questions, but it's all scripted. Everything's scripted. And it's not what we want. It's not what we want. We want strong, quick. We need brutal. We need somebody that can take lunch on and take on, I'm talking about training. but even militarily. So China in the South China Sea is building a massive military base and airfields. Not supposed to be doing it, right? They're not supposed to. They have no fear of this country. But we have tremendous power over China economically. But Obama doesn't know that. He has no idea. If we stop allowing China to do business with us, there wouldn't be a China. There would be a revolution over there. They have sucked the money out of our country, and out of Iowa, by the way. Out of Iowa. But they've sucked the money out of it. I say it's probably the single greatest theft in the history of the world, what China's done to us. And you know what? I like China. It's nice. The people are great. They buy my apartments. I rent the bank. The biggest bank in the world is from China. They're a tenant of mine. They just renewed their lease. I can't believe they renewed their lease. Can you believe? I talk about, can you believe? My guys come in, Mr. Trump, would you sign this why? I was doing it. They got enough problems with this. Certainly. Just take it, largest in the world, like my factory a lot. I said, they're renewing their lease. I said, there's no way. After what I say, they renew. Because you know what they respect? In Business Week magazine, they had an article. The 10 things that Chinese people most want. One of the 10 things was anything Trump. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? But that's because they know. I have a lot of friends from China, and they can't believe they get away with what they get away with. They can't believe it. They say, darling, I don't believe we can get away with this stuff. They just did the biggest devaluation of their currency that has been done in 2 decades, in 20 years. We thought they weren't going to do any more devaluation. But they see we're all screwed up. We have a president that's a rank amateur, doesn't know what he's doing. And he's got so many other problems that they can do these things and nobody's going to do anything about it. They're doing things that they never thought they could do against us. And they're taking our jobs, they're taking our base, they're taking our money, they're taking our businesses. Look what they did with Boeing. Boeing got an order to build planes. They got to build massive factories now, plants in China. And China wants to take all of their intellectual property and, it's unbelievable. And we allow it to happen. But the reason they were able to get away with the devaluation, that's already been now 3 months. And nobody even talks about it. And every time they do that, every single time they do that, your businesses get killed. Your businesses get killed. Mr. Trump, and I have a lot of respect for this guy actually. Mr. Trump, how does it feel? I said, how does what feel? What you've done. Because in the history of politics, nobody has ever done what you've done. You're an outsider. You're a business guy. Business guys weren't supposed to be able to do this. You've been leading the polls. It was the summer of Trump. This was 2 months ago. It was the summer of Trump. I said, well, now we'll see if it's going to be the autumn of Trump. He said, but how does it feel? I said, it doesn't feel anything. I don't feel anything. Because unless I win, it's just a waste of time. He said, no, no, no. Even if you don't win, what you've done is an incredible thing. They're talking about it all the way up to I said, I disagree with you. Respectfully, I disagree. If I don't win, I've wasted my time. I really do. Because I won't be able to do anything. Because we can do things. Does somebody agree with me? Not a lot. A lot of people think like, honestly, look, Romney lost. Okay, Romney lost. He let us down. He should have won. That was an election that should have won. And for the last month, I don't know what happened to him. He disappeared. I called. I said, why aren't you going on Jay Leno? Why aren't you going on? You say what you want about Obama. Obama was in those shows you couldn't watch them anymore. So many shows. And Romney was putting in applications to build a 9-car garage in Malibu, California. Not good the week before the election. People don't want to hear you building a 9-car garage. But I said, I called his people too. I said, why aren't you getting them out there? That was an election that should have been won. And remember this, he didn't inspire. Nobody gets crowds like him. You don't get any crowds. Last night we had 10,000 people. It was in North Carolina, Raleigh, North Carolina. The other day in Sarasota, Florida, we had 12,000 people on a very hot day right in the middle of a beautiful, incredible people. They're all incredible. The people I meet are so incredible. That's what gives me faith in our country. We had 35,000 people in Mobile, Alabama. Amazing. They would use a hotel. I think it's 500 people. You know, we did it early on. Well, in about 7 minutes, the manager, we can't handle this. We went to the convention center, that holds 10,000. They said after about 2 hours, we can't handle it. We ended up going to a football stadium with 35,000 people. We had at Mark Cuban's arena, the Dallas Mavericks. Mark called, he said, "You want to use the arena?" And I said, "Yeah, what day is it?" "Thursday." When are you talking about?" He said, "Monday." I said, "Monday? How big is it?" "Like 20,000 seats." We filled it up in a day and a half. There's stuff that we have by far the biggest crowd. And the beautiful thing we see is it's love. I'm telling you, it's like a love fest. And the people are, you know, people will say, "Well, what's the difference between like Iowa and Dallas?" And I tell you, I guess there's differences. But the one thing, the enthusiasm that everybody has to make America great again is unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. And, you know, I tell the story. A friend of mine who's a very successful guy, because sometimes I'll be speaking to, 35,000 people. We went to Oklahoma. We had 20,000 people in a field, in a park. It was incredible. But I'll speak to friends and they'll say, "How do you speak?" Because, I don't read the speak, right? No teleprompter, right? You speak without a speech. You're not reading your speech. You're not using a teleprompter, which I love to do. It's so easy. But it doesn't come from the heart. And then you can't talk about what happened in California 2 hours ago. Or what happened here. Because, you got to get your speech right. You got to get your consultants to check everything is perfect. But, it's not the same. You wouldn't have too many people. It's boring. Okay? This is the way we have to do it. And this is the right way to do it. But there are a lot of people that are going to speak for an hour and a half without notes. Do we agree? I mean, we know what we're doing, we know what we're talking about, and we know how to do it, and we know how to do the job. When a French company said, "How do you speak?" I had more than 22,000 people. And he was with me, one of the very successful people. He said, "Where are your notes? Where's your speech?" There's no teleprompter. And when we're in the stadium, they said, "You're speaking from your heart." Now I know the subject. I've been doing this stuff for a long time. I know the subject. But I said, it's really easy. And it was a great evening, standing ovations all over the place. It was an amazing evening. He said, "I've never seen anything like that." He said, "How do you do that?" I said, "It's easy, because there's such love in all of these places that I go to. There's like a love. It's like we're all on the same team." And And sometimes I see like a liberal guy or somebody will stand up from Black Lives Matter, or which is fine, and they'll stand, or somebody will stand up for something else. And I said, I'll bet you if I spoke to them, I could convince them. There are some people that have been people, okay? We know that. And you have that, and you have that anyway. But you have a lot of good people that don't agree with us. But I'll bet you that in many cases, if I spoke to them, I'd say, look, we're all in the same thing. We have a country that's a debtor nation. We have people that are dying in the military. Our vets are being treated horribly. Who wants that? Nobody wants that. We're going to take such care of our vets. We're going to make our military bigger, better, stronger than ever before. We're It's a little like our gun shop. We're going to make our military so powerful that we're not going to have to use it. People are taunting us right now because they know we have generals that don't know what they're doing. We have generals that are on television. I don't want my general on television. We have Obama says, "I'm sending 50 men to Iraq." Why? Why does he say that? They go to Iraq, probably go to Syria. Why did he say that? Why does he say that? Why does he have to get up and say, these people have a target on their back? They're being hunted, they're being looked for. If he didn't say it, they wouldn't know. These are our special people. And they go, why does he say? Well, we're led by stupidity. I'll tell you something. I'll tell you, no, it's a stupid group of people. I used to say incompetent because it's a nicer word. You know, I'm now reduced. I went to the great Wharton School of Finance, and I'm reduced to saying we're led by stupid people. There's just no better word. There's no better word. It's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing. But I see that, and so we have a president that announces that we're sending 50 people on today. Those people are in such trouble. And you'll be reading about it. We have a president. We shouldn't have been to Iraq. I said a long time ago, I should get points for this, because I'm the most militaristic person in this room. I am. I mean, I believe I am all in. But I don't have wars. I don't have wars. When Hillary and Jeff on the same day said they don't like my tone. They don't like my tone. My tone is a strong tone. And that's what we need. We have people with their heads being chopped off all over the world. And their heads are being chopped off if they're Christian. I'm a Christian. I'm Presbyterian. Nobody knows that. I told Chuck and Sam, you should give, especially for this group, give them my confirmation picture. You won't believe it. I was actually very good looking, you know. But I'm a Christian. They're cutting off Christians' heads. And that's like medieval times. And he talks about tone. He's not a So, thank you. But, so we're at a crossroads. This country has a great chance to be more amazing than ever before. I really believe that. We get rid of the regulations, the farmers, we're going to get rid of the estate taxes that are making a lot of the farmers sell their farms. I understand it. I understand it. You know, you have farmers out there, they're wealthy, but they're a little bit cash short. And all of a sudden, their farm is worth a lot of money, but the only way they're going to pay their taxes is by selling their farm. They don't want to sell their farm. And we have it too. You know, real estate's sort of that kind of a business. You have assets, but in many cases, you haven't stopped or whatever. You might not have the cash necessary. People are forced, and many businesses are like that. Where they're good businesses, you employ a lot of people, and then you end up selling the farm to somebody who's never going to take care of it, who doesn't love it, going to reduce the payroll, it's going to get rid of a lot of the people that have worked for you for years, and then you have to justify why cut the estate tax. We're going to get rid of the estate tax. It's a very bad thing, and it is killing people in Ireland. We also, as you know, I came out with a tax bill, you know, because the press wants it. We're going to cut taxes way down, especially for the middle class and for businesses. Way down. We're right now the highest taxed nation in the world. We are going to be one of the lowest taxed nations in the world. And the middle class is a business and so is business. And we're going to do things that are going to keep our companies from leaving this land. And we're going to keep our companies here. And we're going to let them bring the $2.5 trillion. You know, they have $2.5 trillion at a minimum overseas. They can't bring their money back. They can't bring their money back. And you know the Republicans and the Democrats both agree they should be able to. For 3 years, they can't make a deal. I think they're going to make a deal. I read something this morning. That's because I have been breaking them down on this. Everybody agrees. Who agrees? I mean, who wouldn't say bring your money back? They can't bring their money back because of the complexity of the taxes being too high, and bureaucracy. And I've been talking about this, and now you have companies leaving. I think, and the amazing thing, I'm using, it's one of the few cases, Republicans and Democrats both agree that we should do it. And 3 years in, agree they can't do it. They can't get together, they can't do it. Because there's total gridlock in Washington, and we have no leader in Washington. That's the only reason. So, for the first 5.5 months, I've talked more or less about this stuff. About China, about Japan, about Vietnam, another place ripping us bigly, about many other places. Everybody's ripping us, just so you understand. Finish it. I don't know of any nation that's not. If they're not, they got something wrong. because we're meant to be here, by the way we do business. Mexico's killing us. Mexico's killing us at the border, and they're killing us in trade. Nabisco is moving a big plant from Chicago into Mexico. Big plant. Ford is building a $2.5 billion plant. Think of it, 2.5, one-story plant, $2.5 billion. You guys know what that is. You know how big that is? That means they're going to close a lot of plants up in Michigan and various places in there. How will that happen? And then they're going to make cars, trucks, and parts, sell them into the United States, no tax. How does that help us, folks? It doesn't. I'm a free trader. But where does that help us when we allow that to happen? So, we're not going to let it happen. What I have been doing, for the last, and I've been talking about the economic things. Then we had Paris, it's almost 2 weeks now. So we had Paris. And all of a sudden, I start talking a little bit differently. And I must tell you, I feel so strongly. If they had the guns, it would have been like that. But, cops, police, all over. My job. I talk about this now all the time. Now, one of the reasons I shot up to the top, they say, what do I do? I just speak from the heart. One of the reasons I shot up to the top is because of my stance on border. We're going to build a wall. It's going to be a real wall. It's going to be a great wall. We're going to build a wall. It's going to be a great wall. The people aren't going to come through that wall unless they come in illegally. And if they come in illegally, I love it. Come in. And we'll take as much as we can. But they're not going to come in unless they come in legally. And that's for sure. And it's going to be a real wall. You know, they wanted to build a wall. A lot of people don't realize this. They wanted to build a wall for years. How about this? Environmental impact statements, they couldn't pass the environmental test to build a wall. Can you believe it? It was probably a snail or a turtle or a it's not a good thing. I said the other day, jokingly to a friend in China, he's came in and he bought a big apartment, and I said, so tell me, what you're doing in the South China? She said, oh yes, we are doing that. They got like 1,000 excavators, a massive. I jokingly said to him, how long did it take for you to get your environmental impact statement? He looked, what are you talking about? We started work the next day. Let's do it here, boom. We are so behind